Good morning and welcome to the Free West Media channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so before. Well, yesterday it looked like a done deal for Trump, the election, as most of those states that were left at the end, the swing states, he was ahead in most of them. And then suddenly all of these postal ballots started being dumped onto some of the counting tables in those states, and then Biden made a miraculous comeback. Now, I want to draw your attention to an article that has just appeared on the front page of the Free West Media website, and I'm going to put it onto the right-hand side of the screen right now. There you go. It says U.S. election whistleblower reveals USPS mail voter fraud in Michigan. Now, Michigan is one of those key states. It's got 16 votes, electoral college votes. So it's obviously at this stage of the race, it's extremely important for both Trump and Biden to get those electoral college votes from a larger state like Michigan. And in the meantime, it seems that Michigan has been apportioned to Biden. Whereas, according to this organization, Project Veritas, a conservative media organization dedicated to secretly infiltrating leftist organizations to expose their underhanded tactics, postal clerks in Michigan were told to fraudulently hand-postmark all new ballot envelopes for November 3. So there were ballot papers and postal votes coming in after the cutoff time in Michigan, and within the post office, these clerks were being told to actually hand postmark them as if they had come in before the deadline. Now, this is an extremely serious a piece of electoral fraud, and it might be that these sorts of tactics are precisely what's going to allow Biden to actually steal this election from Trump. The other issue that people, a lot of mathematicians and statisticians have highlighted over the past 24 hours or so are the extremely high voter participations in some of these states where the Democratic Party registered sudden miraculous gains. They were saying that in some of them, in Wisconsin, for example, there was a record 89% voter turnout, which represents a surge of 22% compared to 2016. And in Milwaukee, the largest city in the state, which is heavily biased towards the Democratic Party, they also reported more votes in the presidential election than there were registered voters. And, Trump was ahead for most of the day before there were massive vote dumps at 4 a.m. in the morning, which suddenly swung the state in the favor of the Democrats. And, one person on Twitter, DC Corruption, he tweeted about that. Let's get his tweet up there. Okay, let's. Well, he was saying this is literally a 5+ standard deviations from the mean. That actually is statistically practically impossible. Now, all kinds of statistical anomalies like that were happening late yesterday. When suddenly, Biden miraculously started to gain and surpass Trump in some of these swing states where Trump had huge support. It was quite evident from before the election that Trump and many thousands and thousands of people were attending Trump's rallies, and he had huge support in those states. And one of the commentators, Bill Mitchell, who's also been banned from Twitter for supporting Trump, said the high turnouts in other states were suspicious. Quote, along with Michigan, Pennsylvania also had 80% turnout. These numbers are just preposterous, and it's all due to the fake absentee ballots, he said. President Trump outperformed his 2016 totals in Wisconsin by 200,000 votes, but fake absentee ballots for Biden overwhelmed him, Mitchell explained. So, this is an extremely serious situation that the US is facing. It's supposed to be a first world country. And here we are seeing, an election. There are doubts about the, the honesty of this election. So, however this plays out in the next couple of days and weeks, possibly, because it might drag on if it had to go to court and so on. It could drag on for weeks, but it's really a stain on the record of the USA regarding its democracy, that something like this could occur in a first world country. And I think the blame has to be laid at the door of the Democrats, who are so, they are so adamant that Trump should be booted out, that they have resorted to some very questionable tactics in order to win this election, which they haven't done yet, because according to the New York Post at least, Trump still stands a chance of actually getting enough votes in all of those swing states to proclaim himself the winner, or to be proclaimed the winner. Thanks for listening to us and watching, following this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to it, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks. Goodbye.